Listen only to the sound of my voice. Let your mind relax. Let your thoughts drift. Imagine yourself in a frozen forest.
Hello there, Servum17 once again. This is my Black Ops 3 Realistic Mode walkthrough. This is the final part of Mission 2, and it immediately throws you in the deep end behind some cover with another member of Taylor's unit, and you now have a light machine gun with a fucking ACOG on it. But we have Immolation, and Immolation is so good. It is wonderfully great. And how it works for those who have no interest in playing this game, when your bar fills up at the bottom and it goes a full circle like that, it means you can use it. Then you hold both the bumpers at the same time. Whenever the red indicator's on an enemy, when you let go, that enemy will detonate. If anybody's close to them, they'll detonate as well. And it's pure money every single time. Really satisfying, really fun. So I believe that pellet symbol there that guy's got that I'm shooting at means he has a shotgun. But I couldn't be entirely sure because I haven't looked into a lot of what the icons mean. Like, if you see a skull that's got something going through it, like a star, weird symbol, I think it means they're a sniper. If there's just like a star, like a kapow sign, I think it means that they're going to be a puncher, because you see that on the robots that melee. But for the most, I'm not entirely sure what all the icons mean. It's too soon, really. And I don't think there's any part of the game that tells you exclusively what it is. But you'll come to spot it, and you'll come to understand kind of what it means just off of feel. Which sounds almost like a crazy-ass martial arts, but it's not. Also, if you listen here, there's the music in this game I really like. It's kind of this weird Vangelis, future, new wave retro-esque kind of beats all the time, and I really appreciate that shit. Like, that is really soothing, really up my alley. I love me some, Blade Runner in the slums kind of themes going off. It definitely punctuates the killing. Something to note, folks, if you hear any bangs in the background, I'm not in downtown Bosnia during the 90s, but it feels like it, because it's a few days after Bonfire Night and people still have fireworks, and it just makes me wish for injuries that not even a skin graft can fix, because it's so frustrating to have constant noise all the time when you're trying to record something. And I appreciate that people like fireworks and they want to enjoy it, but it was 2 fucking nights ago. Enjoy it then and stop. Please. The dogs can't take it, damn it. But I find it so annoying. But this is Call of Duty, this is not annoying firework night. Even though I do like fireworks, that's the thing. I really like fireworks, but I like them when they're meant to be used. I don't like them after. Oh, there was one there. Wonderful. Like, please just... I fervently wish, I devoutly pray that whoever that man is can no longer have children after the Catherine Wheel incident and his testicles. Like, please. For once, God, do something in your life to stop these idiots setting things off. Because these are the same bastards that maim a child and they're like, well, I did follow instructions. Stand 2 yards away from it and light it with me lighter. Fucking goombas. But this is just Call of Duty, so shoot people frequently. The good news, folks, is after this mission, you're going to be introduced to the safe house mechanic. And inside the safe house, you're going to be able to essentially customize your class. And then you can use different abilities, you can use different weapons. You can set yourself up to play how you wish to play, and depending on the level of your character, alas, if you've been through the campaign before, will depend on the tools of your trade that you'll be able to use. I really recommend beating the campaign with your friends on co-op, and then coming back on realistic later on, so that you've at least got a ton of abilities, a ton of upgrades, and a ton of different guns, because the starting guns are perfectly fine, but compared to the Shiva and that assault rifle that does, 4 bursts, you literally see the difference in damage potential when you take on the heavy guy who doesn't die. Because that dude, you can strip him clean with that quad burst rifle, hit him in the face in about 2 seconds. It's insanely good. And I only get access to those weapons on the final level because of a crash that happened with this game, which I'm going to talk about now before I forget. So basically, folks, Everything that you do in the campaign on this is in a lobby, and the lobby system is really janky and weird. It does all kinds of bizarre problems and issues with it, and the game catalogues offline progress differently to online progress, and it doesn't really say why. I don't know why it does it. It seems really fucking stupid. But I beat the first 5 missions on realistic mode, and then I left the game on overnight to update the patch, the day 1 patch that you needed to play. I would not have been able to play the game and start anything if I'd not done that, so I chose to not have it and play offline so that I could at least enjoy the game I'd bought that fucking day. So I leave it on all night, downloading, because my internet's not good enough to do it, you know, during the day. And it takes a very long time. And I got it, and when I turned the game on, I had no save data. It had completely just fucked it. I couldn't tell you why, I don't understand it myself, but it had just disappeared. It wanted me to make my character again and everything, and just very, very bizarre. So I had to play those levels again after I'd beat the walkthrough. But it was just unnecessarily frustration for no real reason, just because of this arbitrary way they've decided to design the campaign. It's fucking stupid. Like, I'm not playing co-op, it doesn't need a lobby. Like, why does it just not save it universally? It's so stupid. And then later on, which is something I need to mention too, whenever you save and quit, be careful when you start again, because if the game does not say resume game, you will fuck your save data. Because there's times when it says start game, which is really ambiguous and it's not clear what it means. There's no option for new game, there's no option for resume game, it says start game, and when you do that, it starts you on the very first level of the campaign, regardless of where you are. So I ended up losing my progress on a level called Sandcastle when I was at the end of it, because of stupid menus. And it's one of those things where I've played every fucking Call of Duty that's existed, and I've never had this issue. I have never once accidentally started a new fucking game when I wanted to continue. Never once. But this game. And I've watched people playing co-op where it just won't let people get in the match and it keeps fucking up. It just seems like a massive mess. And it's already had a day 1 patch, so what the fuck did they fix? You know, the music? Like, come on, dude. By the way, this is a very, very difficult room. I can't really say how I live. I just do. You know? That's what this difficulty is. Like, just then I could have died. At any moment on this cover I can die, because this is not good cover, but it's useful at a certain range if you're lucky enough. And on your right, you can get flanked by robots if your partner doesn't do his job. If he does do his job, you'll never notice. But there are times when I've done this sequence where I've been killed from the right because he just hasn't kept on top of anything. And all of these lucky variables are what make this difficulty a pain, because you cannot control them, guys. You just can't. You can try, but you can only get so far with your own effort. And that's why it's hard. It's only hard because you're out of control almost the entire time. But another strange feature of this game, there doesn't seem to be a restart checkpoint section on the pause menu, and I don't get that. Every Call of Duty had that. This one doesn't. I don't get it. I shouldn't have to save and quit when your game fucks up. When you put me in a scripting bug and I can't move on, I should be able to restart checkpoint and fix it, and it wasn't there. And I don't know if it's because I was playing before the patch, and maybe that's what the patch introduced, but I had a lot of technical issues with this campaign, and I've never had that on any of the other Call of Duties. And I'm very curious if anybody else has had any of these, because I've just been tweeted by a subscriber who had the same save issue I did, where his game just fucked his save file for no reason. And it's not fair, dude. Especially when you're playing on realistic. This is not fun, this. Nobody wants to play this. They really don't. Like, at first, I was even tweeting, it's hilarious. You look back on my timeline on Twitter, and I'm like, the difficulty seems pretty balanced. I'm having fun. And I was. Because when I died, because you die in one bullet, it was making me laugh. Because it's that moment of, what could you have done? Like, Jesus. I didn't even see a dude, and I'm dead. And it was funny. But then you get further on and you realise that this campaign is much longer than the other ones, and these levels are much longer than some of the other ones, and you just notice how much you have to do on certain checkpoints, and it gets to that point where it's like, why the fuck am I doing this? I don't want to be doing this. And that's kind of how it goes in some of these missions. When you get to some of the rougher checkpoints, it doesn't feel fun. And for the game then to fuck up and ruin your save, I just can't imagine anything worse. And it's a shame too, because I truly do think that this campaign is worth your attention. I think it's a lot better than it's getting credit for. And I think a lot of some of these reviews right now are speaking more of COD fatigue than actual artistic appraisal of a campaign that is a little bit different to what you might be used to. The IGN review was a dude effectively lamenting that he liked Advanced Warfare and this game doesn't play like Advanced Warfare, which I found hilarious because I fucking hated that game. After the campaign, which was fun, and I still stand by that, I think that campaign is fun, that multiplayer, worst multiplayer I've ever played in a Call of Duty. I cannot stand it. Like, that is one of those that I literally didn't play. I played it once for 3 hours and I've never touched it since. Never done that. Not even once. That just goes to show how much I just had a distaste for the guns, for the maps, for the way the game flowed, everything. Just didn't like it. And here's this dude being like, it feels like a step backwards because it's not like Advanced Warfare. I was reading it like, are you fucking smoking crack? Like, what is wrong with your brain? I know more people who stopped playing COD because of Advanced Warfare than anything else. Like, it is essentially the game that killed COD for a lot of people. And there's this dude like, I really like the double jump with my 0.5 KD, and then my running around with fucking akimbo or whatever's powerful. But it's very strange anyway. But this is not the multiplayer, that's a firework, you're going to hear a lot of that, guys. I've been stopping every other firework and removing them, but they're getting so frequent now, it's like, I'm just praying for death, praying for people to get burned, and it's a horrible thing to say, but it's true. Wouldn't bat a fucking eyelid. You shouldn't be firing fireworks off when it's not bonfire night. End of. Should get fined, dude. Fucking sensitive technical equipment here, and you're ruining it. But right now, this room, the reason why I'm being so tentative is the checkpoint is the beginning of this fight, and you won't get one until you've literally cleared this room. So it's a pretty big room too, so you'll notice I sent out the fireflies hoping to spot some things, but I didn't get any real return on it. And at this moment, the fireflies are a really good ability, but they're limited in range. So I am being incredibly tentative. And that's how you survive. You know, somebody might watch this video who has no idea of what the game is on this difficulty, and they might say, well, this is boring, all you're doing is cowering at a distance and pop-shotting and hiding. And that's exactly what it is. It's 100% what it is. You can't mask it. But that's just because anything else will not work. I would love to run in here with an SMG and kill stuff, but that's not how the game's going to work. And I find it really funny because, do you remember Black Ops 2 on Veteran? The easiest Veteran campaign ever. I don't know what they did, but you can rush that campaign with an SMG like it's multiplayer and win. I've done it. MP7, extended mags, grip, and you can run through that entire campaign. Doesn't make any sense. You just didn't die fast on that Veteran. It was really fair. Additionally, there was a gun on that campaign that shot through walls. So you didn't need to do that, you could have just hid. Like, I do believe if that game had realistic mode, it would be easier than this, just because of how good that wall-banging gun was. Like, it was a gun, you could get an optic that saw through walls, and you could get a gun that shot through walls. It was crazy good. But right now, this is scary, because I can get shot there and I'm not safe. And this pistol takes 50 bullets to kill anything. It's fucking worthless. Headshots, torso shots, doesn't matter. It's utter shit. And it sucks too because it looks cool, but I hate it. And I hate it because of the train section coming up. The game does a terrible bait and switch. You notice how we've got immolation now when we don't need it? Well, on the train, you need it and you don't have it. Instead, they give you fucking super speed, which I never used on my recording run, but I've experimented with it now, and I can honestly say it doesn't really give you that much of an advantage in the areas where it's dangerous. It does if you want to just move quick and you want to be a combat boosting Perfect Dark player, which, you know, I'm nostalgic enough to like to do that, but in the grand scheme of COD, no, that ability is the least interesting thing they could have given you. And then they give you that weird ground pound, which is hilarious, because the game's like, use the ground pound to do this area. Good luck. If you can survive doing a ground pound on realistic, you are a better player than me. Straight up. Because I tried it once, and then the checkpoint was so bad, I'm like, fuck that. I'm going to be as slow and as safe as I can, because this is horrendous. But open the door with your magic Johnny Five hands. Which, it must be said, guys,
The computer over there.
Everybody has these robot arms. These robot arms, I assume, are capable of way more power than a normal hand. And everybody punches each other in the face like it's nothing. Nobody breaks orbitals. Nobody breaks the fucking jaws. Like, nobody dies. I like to think that that's not how that would work. But I just have to be said right now, this level looks amazing. I absolutely love the effects on this train, but this level's fucking miserable because you have a shotgun that's got terrible range and everything kills you in a bullet and there's tons of enemies. It's like you have to Sandy Ravage this shit or you're in trouble. And I hate stuff like this. Because the checkpoint is not now. No checkpoint, guys. If I die, I have to do everything you just saw again, and I have to clear this next room, and I have to clear the guys at the end of this next room. And it's just wickedly frustrating. Shut up, you Law and Order man, SVU, my dick. But there's two dudes at the end of this corridor that are going to spawn, and I'm going to probably throw grenades and cover some distance to them. Once you've killed the two guys down here, you'll get a checkpoint. But there's no checkpoint up until this moment, and it's straight up, like, mile-high bullshit. Although, you know, it's not as hard as that, obviously. So now, you get a checkpoint. But you can't swap weapons, and if you could, it'd be great, because you could get rid of that shitty pistol and get something that works. But no. The game's like, nah. Or, if you run in here, you can shotgun both of these as they spawn. Very simple strategy. I did that when I had to play this level again. But instead, I'm going to be doing a rather cowardly one. It's got a slow reload, too. If you're ever in trouble and you've got shells in your gun but you're reloading, press Y twice and it will cancel your reload animation. It's not as fast as it used to be, but it's still effective. You can also sprint to cancel your reload animation, but of course that puts you out of cover and it can put you into bother, so YY is the way to go. So once you climb up here, you're going to get a checkpoint right now. See, I shifted. So this cover right now is not good. It's going to get you killed. You do not want to stay on this, stand still on this piece of cover. You'll notice I'm doing this kind of weird Doom-esque circle strafing stuff. And I'm doing this because it's the only way to stay alive. If you stay still, you will die. The ones on the side are much better pieces of cover. But still, nothing's perfect, guys. You can wait on these corners and hit them as they approach, but every so often you'll just get killed because they're very accurate and they're better than you and they know it. Shotgun has no range, so don't even bother. He's glitched, so ignore him. But the tricky part here is there are enemies just in front there, where I just threw that grenade. And I have a better strategy of doing this, guys, because I did it earlier. If you push up to the edge of this lip, you can shoot them in the face with the pistol. If you hear them moving, they'll jump up and you can one-shot them with the shotgun. But that grenade worked wonders. So if you don't have any grenades, that's what you want to do, what I just mentioned. Edge up to the edge, shoot one in the face, someone will jump up, shotgun him, and then just wait. But it's... oh my goodness, this mission sucks, dude. So this is the hard part, climbing up here. This is a very long stretch with a lot of enemies, and the advantage is 100% in their favour. Shotgun those first two guys, put some shots down the lane at these idiots, and use this piece of cover to pop out and shoot your shotgun. If you live or die, it's really not up to you, it's up to them. Flip a coin, throw a knife in the air. If it lands on you, you died. If it didn't, you got lucky. That's what it is. And distance is your friend. Whenever you're at distance, you have the best survivability. This pistol comes really in handy, because it might be a bag of dicks, but it's a bag of dicks from every range. So I'm going to use it at this range, because it has very little recoil, and I can shoot it very quickly, and I'm going to use it to put these enemies down without them putting me in danger. Once you've done this, the roof is now clear, but the problem is, there's a bunch of dudes in front of us. So there's a big group of them that you can ground pound if you can get it off, but it's very dangerous, and there's also people in the room past them who can shoot you. But because the visibility is so low, thanks to the snowstorm, really tough to see them. So there's one guy just there. And I was playing on a 42-inch television, sat really close to it, and I could barely see shit. So it's pretty rough. But kill the guys who can see you, a la these fellas. And what's going to happen is once you've cleared the guys at the back, you're going to edge forward, and you're going to kill the ones that are all clustered up. And if they jump up, you're going to shotgun them. You're not going to do what I'm doing in this video because it's not as good. Unless I get that grenade off and it works, which is really good. 'Cause the difference is, on my second playthrough of this, I didn't have any grenades. He's climbing up, by the way. Did you hear his feet? You can always tell when they're going to come up because you can hear the footsteps. Which is really, really stupid because there are times when those robots make no noise. And I know this for a fact because I'm wearing Astro A40s and I couldn't hear them. And it's cranked. Like, seriously cranked. But this is a pretty safe strategy. But the checkpoint, if you're wondering, is before we climbed up onto the roof. So you can understand why I'm being incredibly tentative here, because you die in one bullet, you can die at any moment, and you have to kill a lot of enemies in a situation that does not benefit you. But there was a grenade, it killed something. I find cooking grenades on this game a lot harder than the old games. The grenades seem to not go off as quick as they used to. It's really annoying. That vision here can sometimes show you people a little bit through walls. It's not 100% effective, but it's useful. So I'm just being really tentative, really nervous. I'm listening to see if anybody's jumping up, but I don't think they are. So I should really be getting aggressive. There are people in this room as well, you see them? And whenever you see that yellow circle, it means that you're about to eat a bullet, so you want to be really careful. But there's another guy at the back there. I've got more than enough pistol rounds to do this. And trust me folks, you want to take this slow. And I back all the way up to try and get a better perspective to shoot the people in those buildings, because I just don't want to take a stray bullet. There's nothing worse than doing everything you've just done and then eating a stray bullet here. But it must be said, it's not fun, dude. Like, all they needed to do was give us a checkpoint. Why was there not a checkpoint when we cleared the top of this train? There's a checkpoint here. You then can have as many attempts as you want to do that stupid ground pound and kill everything and then shotgun rush the rest of them. And it might have been really fun. But because there's no checkpoint, there's too much at stake now to fuck this up, to try anything stupid. Because I don't want to replay the last 5 minutes of gameplay. I'm not that kind of person. I don't find that fun. That's not challenge, it's just annoying. And I will always stay by that particular mentality because I just don't think it is. Now when I come off a game like Transformers Devastation that almost never has a checkpoint that I disagree with, I always notice just how bad certain games can be. Oh, that's really scary when that happens, by the way. Once again, if he decides to kill me, it's up to him. Nothing to do with me. You'll notice I've not took any damage on this level. Outside of maybe a drone or some silly bullshit. This is a Call of Duty on its hardest difficulty and I've not taken any damage. It's really bizarre. It's such a different game on this difficulty, but just not in all that much of an entertaining way. So you could hear him moving. I got myself in cover, poked my gun out and hoped he didn't hear me or see me. You know when it's clear because Taylor will tell you to push up. So there's like one dude left and I'm inching forward now hoping I don't get clipped. Because if you push forward too quickly, they'll instantly kill you. And there might be one or two dudes here. So you see them? See that? And I was hoping that they were going to walk up and they didn't. So instead I cook a grenade. It's a little too far that though and I didn't cook it long enough so it didn't work. I can't hear anybody moving. Oh, I can now. Here he comes. Very dangerous, but it worked. Anybody else? So I think there's just one more now, so I should really go and shoot him in the face. But I'm going to be very tentative because I'm just not all that confident in this mission. And look at all the guns. They've got assault rifles. Why can't we grab an assault rifle? It would have made it so much more manageable. But they give you this shotgun for a reason. Oh, well, we're done. As if. That was weird. So now that he says that, you've got a checkpoint. I think there's two more enemies coming up in this room, but both of them have to spawn, so you can kill them really super quickly if you know what you're doing. You're probably not going to see that though on this particular run. Like I said, I've got way more knowledge of this level after beating it additionally. Like, when you beat a level 3 times, you really know how it works. So as you push up, they're going to spawn from that right hand chamber. There it is. And there's one on the left as well. So I've got grenades to spare, so I chuck a stun. I finish him off with a shell. And I finish him off with a shell. And that's it, guys. That's the end of the mission. But what you just witnessed then might be the most boring thing to watch you've ever seen today, but it's also one of the trickiest parts of the game, just because the checkpoint is not kind, and that is a very long sequence. Like, I don't even think we got a checkpoint on those last two guys. I think it gave it us then, when we were in a fucking cutscene, because that's when you need it, of course. There it was, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and you take care now.